Throughout my career, I've helped hundreds of people retire successfully. And in this video, I'm going to walk you through my 5-step system that is designed to help you live your dream retirement within the next 5 years. And this is going to happen for you without having to sacrifice your lifestyle, stress about running out of money, or even worse, having to figure out how you're going to do everything all by yourself. Hi, I'm Nick Davis, certified financial planner and the owner of the financial planning firm Brindle Bay. And this is the exact system we use to allow Ron and Nancy to go from a high tax bracket to enjoying paying $0 in taxes in their first 4 years of retirement. We also use this system for John and Rita, who used it to avoid paying an extra $4,296 per year in Medicare costs. It also helped Tom and Melissa increase their Social Security survivor's benefit by $1,350 per month. These are not the only people that this system has worked for. In fact, this is the system we've used almost every day over the past decade at our firm that's helped hundreds of people live their dream retirement. My promise to you today is if you watch this video in full, you'll understand a step-by-step system to live the retirement of your dreams, allowing you to spend more money, save more on taxes, and live with peace of mind during your retirement. And I'm going to deliver all of that to you plus more in the next 30 minutes. So if you don't have 30 minutes to invest in living the retirement of your dreams, then I guess retiring with confidence, clarity, and financial freedom is not really a priority for you anyway. Before we actually get into the full system, let me start by explaining the 3 reasons why Americans typically struggle to build a retirement plan that lets them live out the retirement of their dreams, as it's going to give you some context for the rest of the video. Reason number 1 is people are uncertain about where to start. Many individuals are just not confident about taking that right first step. Reason number 2 is people are overwhelmed by all the intricacies at play. When should you take Social Security? What type of Medicare coverage should you pursue? What distribution strategy is best for you? And so many other things that need to be considered to build a comprehensive and reliable retirement plan. Reason number 3, people tend to spend too long trying to figure it out by themselves, only to realize that without professional help, they're never going to truly live the retirement they desire. I'm going to put myself out there and say that you, like many other Americans, are watching this video because you relate to one or more of the following reasons. You're worried about whether your savings are going to last in retirement or not. You're concerned about what might happen to your lifestyle if you stop receiving that steady income from your job. You're aware of how volatile the market can be, and you've got concerns about the economic uncertainty. You know that you need to take action now if you truly want to live the retirement of your dreams. You just want to enjoy the youth of your retirement. You don't want to wait until your late 60s to start. And look, I get it. I see this every day in my firm. We've worked with clients for over a decade, and this is the stuff that to the layman feels confusing. But the truth is, if this sounds like you, it's actually a good thing. Why? Because all of these problems are not really the problem. The real problem is that you don't have a system for optimizing your retirement plan in a way that will allow you to live the retirement of your dreams. And once you have this, those problems just fade away. I'm going to give you the system right now in this video, but for right now, just understand that once you understand the system, you're going to be able to have a clear action plan on exactly how you can maximize your income in retirement and minimize your taxes. You'll be able to retire with confidence, knowing that your money is being invested in a way that supports your lifestyle. You'll be able to relax, knowing that you've factored in the possible healthcare scenarios and that you're covered. You'll feel a deep sense of pride knowing that you're going to be able to leave an amazing legacy for your loved ones. And finally, you'll know that you've got a system that will allow you to retire with confidence and have that true financial freedom without sacrificing your lifestyle. Let me quickly clarify what this system is not. It's not going to give you cookie cutter, one-size-fits-all advice like the 4% withdrawal rate rule or simple outdated investment strategies. It's not a siloed approach that only looks at one part of retirement. No, this system looks at retirement planning as a whole, beginning to end, to ensure you live the retirement of your dreams. It's also not for you if you're the type of person who thinks that they do not need professional help or advice and that they can do it all by themselves. These 3 approaches are all flawed. They're outdated. And to be honest, they could completely destroy your retirement. So with that being said, let's get into the system. I call this system the Money Master Plan. It has 5 key stages, which we're going to cover in this video, and ultimately will allow you to live the retirement of your dreams. Stage 1 is to have a dynamic income plan that allows you to spend more in retirement and isn't constrained by archaic rules such as the 4% withdrawal plan rule. Stage 2 is an investment strategy based on our screen and rank methodology. Stage 3 is a tax strategy that accounts for problems like the Social Security phantom tax, which is something that costs retirees millions over the United States every single year. Stage 4 is a healthcare strategy that accounts for all parts of retirement. This is crucial whether you are pre-Medicare, currently claiming Medicare, or trying to cover long-term healthcare costs in retirement. Stage 5 is legacy planning with an estate directory service, and this is the missing piece from almost every estate plan because it helps when you or your spouse are incapacitated, and it makes it easier during those stressful times. With that being said, let's get into the whole system right now. All right, the first step in building a comprehensive retirement plan is creating that income withdrawal strategy, one that provides steady monthly income without locking you into old and outdated methods. You see, the purpose of having an income withdrawal strategy is to allow you to have that steady monthly paycheck while keeping in mind the risk of running out of savings during your lifetime. The best withdrawal strategies are the ones that give you that predictable monthly income with a very low risk of ever running out, but they also let you know when it's acceptable to spend even more from your retirement savings each month. Withdrawal plans like these can help you get the most use of your money throughout your lifetime. And here is exactly how you can implement it. Step 1 is to calculate an initial spending capacity per month based on your portfolio and your retirement goals. Step 2, set up what we call modern guardrails that monitor your maximum spending capacity. Now, these guardrails are set at the top and bottom of your risk profile. And step 3 is to monitor those guardrails. With guardrails, you receive a steady monthly paycheck. And if your wealth increases and reaches an upper guardrail, you'll be notified that it's okay to spend more. On the other hand, if your wealth falls below a lower guardrail, you'll be advised to temporarily reduce that spending down by a predetermined acceptable amount. Modern guardrails are based on the premise that most portfolios can afford to spend more than the 4% rule would allow, as long as you're willing to make modest temporary spending adjustments when necessary. It's based on the idea that temporary reductions to spending can preserve any retirement portfolio. So rather than starting at a super low spending rate and then never needing to change it, instead, guardrails allows you to spend more as long as we monitor and make sure that your goals are always on track. Using this approach, you no longer have to be limited to the 4% rule, no more stressful probability of success percentages, no more reducing your retirement income to the lowest possible denominator because you're trying to hit that 100% probability. Those are outdated and they ultimately cause you to spend less money during your retirement. In many situations, it's okay to spend more of your retirement money as long as you have a system in place that monitors your spending capacity and your risk. And that risk changes as you progress throughout the years in retirement. Now, if you watch this video all the way to the end, I'll show you how to get a completely free, detailed playbook on every little nuance that there is about using modern guardrails to assist in retirement planning. But for now, let's take a look at an example. This example is hypothetical and for illustrative purposes only. We see here that this family has $2.2 million between all of their accounts. Off to the right, their total measured spending capacity is $11,430 per month, and that number is before considering any tax. And that's important because when it comes to measuring your risk, what really matters is how many of those dollars are you pulling out of your savings. In order to understand how much you need to pull from your savings, you of course need to know how much tax is going to be included. And when I say risk, what I'm talking about is the risk of you being able to pay for retirement and the things that you want to have and do without the tragedy of running out of money. Next, you can see the upper and lower guardrails, and the plan is spelled out very clearly. If their balance increases by 24% over time to just under $2.8 million, then they're going to be notified and told that it's recommended that they spend an additional $2,252 per month. If the opposite happens throughout time and their balance were to decrease and reach that lower guardrail, in this case $1.2 million, then they'd want to reduce spending down by $472 per month. That's $11,430 down to $10,958. It's a very sophisticated system that's simplified so that all the person has to do is enjoy retirement. But I do want to point out one thing about how risk works and why this is so important. The risk of you running out of money during your retirement changes as we get older and as the economic environment and the current market assumptions get updated. This is why starting with a percentage like 4% or 5% is just so outdated, and it's sort of like you're flying blind. When you use a starting percentage only, you're not accounting for how those things change. 10 years from now, you're older. The economic environment has changed. It's different. The risk is different. Modern guardrails like these constantly update, reflecting your new age, updated market assumptions, and they're monitoring your spending capacity risk. That way you know you're spending the most you can spend within your parameters. All of the online retirement calculators won't give you this level of detail and granularity around your retirement income. So if at any point you would like some help understanding how much you can safely spend in retirement, my team and I set aside a few hours each week to speak to people in our YouTube audience to help them answer these sorts of questions. So if that's something that interests you, click the first link in the video description. The second stage in the Money Master Plan is investments. And to start with, it's really important to understand fundamentally that you should treat your IRA and your non-IRA accounts differently. With non-IRA accounts, we believe that you should not be making too many adjustments. Instead, you want to invest passively with a diversified set of exchange-traded funds or ETFs, and we like to add an emphasis of 25 growth stocks that are more tax efficient. Now let's talk about your IRA accounts. This is where you can get creative. With IRAs, you can combine multiple formulas, which are simple disciplines, to completely remove the emotion behind investing. And as Warren Buffett said, you don't want to be a no emotion person all your life, but you definitely want to be a no emotion person when you're making an investment or a business decision. So let me run through an example of our screen and rank formula. I want to be extremely clear on one thing. This is not day trading, and it's definitely not trying to time the markets. It uses a technique called momentum investing. And the purpose of this one example of a formula is to reduce the volatility of your portfolio. Let me explain how we do this. You want to begin with what you see in a typical Morningstar style box. Large cap value, large cap growth, mid cap value, mid cap growth, small cap value, small cap growth, real estate, NASDAQ, developed international, emerging markets. So you get the idea, it's a globally diversified portfolio. Step one, we look at various time periods, short, intermediate, and long term. Step two, we measure momentum of the asset class, and the higher the momentum, the better. Step three, we measure the volatility of the asset class, and this is where lower volatility is better. And step four, we blend them for a total score. Step five, the higher scores will be overweight, lower scores will be underweighted. And because IRAs are not taxed on a year-by-year basis, we adjust the weight on a planned schedule. So if you were looking at it, you'd see small adjustments, never huge in and out of the market types of movements. The goal is to reduce that volatility and take advantage of some of that momentum. See, the goal of using formulas isn't to beat the market. I don't care who you are, no one consistently beats the market. The disciplines of the formula do two key things. They remove the emotion from investing so you can stick to your plan, and they also reduce that volatility, and lower volatility can especially help when you're withdrawing money from your portfolio. Let me show you just how powerful volatility is in retirement. And as an example, you could have two portfolios with the exact same average return, but they get entirely different results during the retirement years. This is even more important if you're withdrawing money from your portfolio. So we're going to look at two different portfolios. They both have the same average rate of return. They both start with $1 million. They both take $50,000 out per year to fund retirement. The key difference is the volatility, otherwise known as standard deviation. And we're going to use the S&P 500 for the first portfolio. And you can see that there's $1 million and there's $50,000 per year being withdrawn for retirement spending. And you can see a series of returns. The average return of 6.91% and the standard deviation of 17.92%. And at the end of 17 years, the portfolio has $373,877 left over. Now let's look at a portfolio that has the same average return, but a different standard deviation. But before we look at this, I need to point out that what I'm about to show you is not a representation of an actual mix of securities or a set of formulas. This is hypothetical for this example, and the main purpose is to show you the benefits of reducing volatility during the withdrawal years. All right, now that I made that disclosure, let's look at this second portfolio. The second hypothetical portfolio example has the same 6.91% average return, but has a 6.82% standard deviation. Same $50,000 withdrawal each year, and 17 years into retirement, there's $1,576,720 left over. Quite the difference from $373,000. Imagine which portfolio you'd rather have 17 years in retirement, 373 or 1.5. What would that do for you? This example shows that despite what you may have heard from others on the internet, Average return is not the full picture. It's not even close. Now remember, this is only one of many formulas that we recommend using to remove the emotions of investing. However, once you've implemented this alongside other formulas, you'll be able to wake up every day with clarity and confidence, knowing that you've positioned your money using strategies designed to support your dream retirement. You'll know that your investments are targeting optimized returns, which can allow you to have greater spending power in retirement to pursue your passions and your hobbies. And you'll feel secure in the fact that you're taking proactive steps in order to minimize the risk that you've been exposed to. Following this is stage 3, which is tax planning. Taxes are most retirees' biggest expense. And I'm going to now walk you through a simple process to ensure that you're not like the masses. And this is also where we're going to discuss that little known Social Security phantom tax that I mentioned earlier. The key to tax planning is making sure that your advisor is collecting your 1099 tax filings. And this is essential for before and after you retire, and the benefits are huge. At Brindle Bay, we take it even a step further and we do an annual 37-point check on all of our clients' tax filing, and we use what we find in their annual tax planning tasks. Many people think that tax planning is looking backwards in their rearview mirror to see what happened last year, but that's not tax planning. Rather than looking through the rearview mirror, we want to be looking forward into the future. Tax planning is absolutely essential for you to live a confident and low-stress retirement. The benefits to it are countless, but let me just explain a few of them. The first one is tax gain harvesting. We have a client who had long-term capital gains in Google stock. He retired at 60, and before he claimed his Social Security or his pension, he sold the highly appreciated stock and enjoyed virtually zero tax on that money for a handful of years before he ended up collecting Social Security. A second example is what we call early income advancement. We had a family who recently foresaw that they would be in a higher tax bracket in the following year, but in a lower tax bracket in the current year, so they pulled next year's money out of their IRAs in the current year, saving tax dollars. But beyond these and the myriad of other benefits to proper tax planning and retirement, there are two major ones. Let's start with phantom taxes. Phantom taxes are an extra cost that you trigger. Sometimes you know it, sometimes you don't. Two common phantom taxes happen with either Medicare or Social Security, and sometimes both. With Medicare, you know it happens because you see that you're paying more for your Medicare. But with Social Security phantom tax, you never know if you paid it. I'm going to give you an example of a family in the 12% tax bracket who ended up paying a 50% tax unknowingly when they wanted to take a $5,000 vacation during retirement. They thought the tax was going to be $600, but it was actually $2,500 on that $5,000 withdrawal. The reason it happens is that after we retire, the progressive tax system has a monkey wrench thrown into it when we combine our income with our Social Security income and our investment income. I'll tell you a story to help you understand how it happens. This is a hypothetical example for illustrative purposes only. Melvin and Goldie have a nice income. They have $60,000 from Social Security. They're going to withdraw $45,000 from their traditional IRA, and they also have $15,000 in long-term capital gains. So they've got a total of $120,000 in income for the year, and they're in the 12% tax bracket. Not too bad, right? Now, here are a couple of things to point out, and you're going to see why I'm pointing it out in a minute. The first detail is that only $45,100 of the $60,000 in Social Security benefit is getting taxed. And the second detail is long-term capital gains are tax-free for the moment, but not if they rise above the 12%, soon to be 15% tax bracket. Pay attention to this one detail. Every extra dollar they pull out of their IRA creates income that makes more of their Social Security benefits taxable. And if that goes too far, the $15,000 in long-term capital gains will shift from being tax-free to taxable. It looks like this. $45,100 is the amount of Social Security that's taxable, and the $15,000 long-term capital gains is tax-free. Their total federal tax is $7,485, and they are in the 12% nominal tax bracket. But watch what happens when they want to pull an additional $5,000 in that same year from an IRA, so Melvin and Goldie can go on that extra vacation. They pull an additional $5,000 from their IRA, assuming the 12% tax will be $600, but that didn't happen. Instead, they increased the dollars from Social Security getting taxed at 12%. And this happens because as you increase your income, as they did by withdrawing from the IRA, the amount of your Social Security that is taxed also increases. So instead of $45,100, that's now $49,350. And they also triggered long-term capital gains they previously did not have because they bumped above that threshold rule for determining long-term capital gains to be taxed or not. And here's how it happened. The extra $5,000 from the IRA times 12% is $600. $4,250 extra Social Security tax at 12% added $510, plus part of the long-term capital gains taxed at 15% rate added $1,387. So those all stacked together for a $2,497, just under $2,500. So they paid a 50% tax while in the 12% tax bracket. How would you feel to find out after the fact that your retirement income was secretly being taxed thousands of dollars extra? It wouldn't be a great feeling, right? Now there's an easy way to avoid this. All you need to do is at the beginning of each year, create an income projection for the upcoming year. We do this each February with our clients. It's an easy 2 steps. First, create an estimated tax projection for the year. And after you have that, adjust which accounts that you're pulling your income from for that year. So when you're retired, you and your advisor are responsible for creating income for the year. So it just makes sense to take a look to see if you can improve your tax bill by adjusting which accounts you're pulling your funds from each year. The other big one is the order of withdrawals planning. Which order of withdrawal is best for you? Dr. Bill Reichenstein wrote a paper called Tax-Efficient Withdrawal Strategies, and in it he revealed that a family could increase the longevity of their retirement portfolio by over 6 years in some cases simply by being more strategic in how they withdraw the funds from their accounts. What I'm talking about here is the tax drag that's created. The order in which you withdraw your funds from your accounts matters. 401k and IRAs, non-qualified, tax-exempt Roths. Which accounts should you withdraw from first, or should it be a combination? Should you withdraw yours sequentially or pro rata? Or should you be using one of these methods in combination of doing Roth conversions? Every person should know what the best withdrawal order is for them because it creates a map to follow in the future. Once we have that map, we can use this to guide us on a yearly basis when you're planning your income for each year in retirement. Every February, we do a tax projection for our clients to help them avoid things like the phantom taxes. We use a tool like this. What you're seeing is a hypothetical scenario for illustrative purposes only. It can show which order of withdrawals is best for you. Here we see the tax lab for a person's fully built out income plan. Based on all the details that this family has in their personal financial story, the tax lab is summarizing the best strategy for them. You can see different orders of withdrawal. If they withdraw the money from their accounts in a pro rata fashion, they'd pay $251,974 in taxes over their lifetime. If they pulled it from their IRAs first, they'd pay $272,034. That's shown where it says the tax deferred, taxable, tax free. However, if they instead performed Roth conversions, they might have an even lower total tax bill. In this case, doing Roth conversions within the 12% tax bracket produces an even lower total tax. Everyone should be afforded the opportunity to compare the different strategies available to them so that they can choose which withdrawal plan best fits their situation. The tax lab software that we use can summarize the benefits. This shows that the difference between an optimized and unoptimized withdrawal strategy is over $280,000. Imagine what you could do with all that saved money in retirement. Imagine how much more freedom you could have to truly live the retirement of your dreams. After tax planning, you need to consider your healthcare options. And with healthcare, there are 3 key areas to plan for in retirement. Planning for healthcare costs before you take Medicare, planning for healthcare costs during your Medicare years, and then planning for that long-term healthcare custodial cost. For healthcare costs before Medicare, you simply need to calculate your current annual cost of healthcare and adjust them for inflation for the number of years until you receive Medicare. So let's say that you estimate your healthcare costs to be $5,000 annually, and you are 4 years from Medicare. And the rate of inflation for healthcare is 5% each year. So let's work through an example together. So of course, the first year, the total cost is $5,000. Then for the second year, you'd want to increase that by 5%, which is simply 5,000 times 1.05, which equals $5,250. Then for the third year, you repeat the same calculation. So you take $5,250 times 1.05, and this comes out to $5,512. You then repeat this step for the fourth year, which equals $5,788.13. $0.15. Then the final step is to sum up each year, which gives your total required savings $21,550.63. Then for healthcare costs during Medicare, I recommend you go to medicare.gov, where you'll be able to get an estimate for your Medicare premiums. You'll then need to combine this information with your out-of-pocket costs to predict the healthcare costs during Medicare. Now, to estimate your out-of-pocket costs during Medicare, we can refer to a study recently done by T. Rowe Price that states that 75% of Americans will pay less than $2,500 a year, and 90% of Americans will pay less than $5,000 annually for medical out-of-pocket expenses. So what we can do is combine the number you receive from your estimated Medicare premium with an approximate out-of-pocket cost of, let's say, $3,500 to see how much you'll need to budget. So we can walk through this as an example. Let's just assume you'll be spending $3,000 per year on Medicare. This means that your total cost would be $6,500 in year one. Then to calculate the amount you'll need over your lifetime, simply follow the calculation we did before for Medicare costs, where you're summing each year up and you're just adjusting for inflation. Now for long-term healthcare and retirement, this is the part that most people get drastically wrong, as they don't realize that Medicare does not cover custodial needs in retirement. And these are the things such as helping you to drive places, eating, or really any activities of daily living. This is a big thing to watch out for, and you need to ensure that you factor this into your plan and earmark enough money to cover these costs in case they're needed. Once you've implemented these three elements of healthcare into your retirement plan, you'll be able to finally chill out. You'll know that you've done your part to cover what you can cover for healthcare in retirement. Then the final stage of building a retirement plan that lets you retire with confidence is by creating an estate plan that secures your legacy. And by ensuring that you have an estate plan, you can relax knowing that your heirs will be well taken care of, that your assets will pass on efficiently once you're gone. This is crucial so you can ensure that your nest egg is protected from unnecessary tax or legal challenges. The real key to estate planning in the Money Master Plan is through providing a Money Master estate directory service. This really is the missing key from almost all other estate plans that you see out there. This is what's going to help you in the unfortunate scenario when you or your spouse are incapacitated, and it makes it easy during a stressful time. It has all the important people to contact and all that information at your fingertips. The additional benefit of this is that it's stored online and your trusted person has access to it. Not too long ago, a client's spouse had a stroke, and their daughter, along with the mother, had a much easier time because everything was in order. This part is the real key to having an estate plan that lets you relax, knowing you've done your part to cross those T's and dot those I's. Now, once you've implemented this system into your life, you'll have a spending plan designed to let you maximize your spending while also reducing your risk. You'll have an optimized portfolio strategy based on our data-backed screen and rank methodology. You'll use our tax projection service to help minimize taxes in retirement and avoid the Social Security phantom tax. And you'll be able to relax knowing your potential health care and custodial expenses are handled. You'll sleep easily at night as you know your legacy is taken care of. All this is going to allow you to retire with confidence, knowing that you can live without financial stress, pursue your passions and hobbies, and live the retirement of your dreams. This system can take you from being an anxious and insecure pre-retiree to one who walks around with confidence and a real sense of fulfillment, knowing that you've proactively taken the right steps to help secure your future. So now you have two choices. You can keep going down the path you're currently on, where you're worried about if you're going to run out of money in retirement, you're concerned about losing the quality of life during retirement, or you're scared and anxious about the role of economic uncertainty, what's going to play and how it's going to influence our hard-earned money, insecure about what the future holds for your retirement. Or you can act now to ensure you retire with confidence and clarity, knowing that you're fully equipped and prepared to live the retirement of your dreams. The truth is, retirement planning is not just about understanding the steps, it's about applying them correctly and consistently and tailoring each one to your specific situation. The financial landscape is complex, and without professional guidance, it can be easy to make costly mistakes. If you do go ahead and still try to develop a retirement plan all by yourself, the sheer volume of information and the intricacies involved involved will leave you feeling overwhelmed and confused. You'll start second guessing yourself, and before you know it, valuable time has slipped away, time that could have been spent growing your savings and securing your future. So let me explain how we can help. My team and I set aside a few hours per week to speak to people just like you to help you apply the system to your life so you can retire with genuine confidence. Here's how it works. You click the link below the video. It's going to take you to a short form that takes a few minutes to fill out, whereby you'll be able to schedule a no-cost call with our team, during which we'll take a deep dive into your personal situation and your retirement goals. There's absolutely no obligation for us to work together. This call is just to understand if we're a right fit for each other. From there, if we're not a right fit for each other, we'll guide you in the direction that best serves you and give you the parting gift of the risk-based guardrails booklet that I mentioned earlier, completely for free. However, if we feel like we are a right fit, we'll begin to apply the system to your own life starting right away so you can finally overcome your retirement worries and concerns and begin to plan for that stress-free retirement. Don't let uncertainty and hesitation hold you back. You've taken the first step by watching this video. Now take that next step and secure your future. Click the link below right now.